Evening. My name is Debbie Yelle. Welcome to Parent Night. I have the wonderful opportunity of spending time with your son or daughter in math intervention, also known as instructional math. Before I go into the class, I'd like to just introduce you briefly to my family and a little bit about myself. So this is a family photo that was taken about a year ago. In the picture in the middle is my husband, Jim. We relocated here from Minnesota about 18 years ago when his company um, said that he needed to relocate here. We have 4 children. Martin is a junior at the University of Superior. And then we have a daughter, Madeline, who's also a junior. They're not twins, but he played hockey for 2 years outside of high school and went to college a little bit later. So Madeline is at the University of Niagara and is playing basketball there. We have Margot, who just graduated from Geneva, and she will be attending the University of Whitewater and playing soccer. And then I have a sophomore who's on that AB schedule, similar to your son or daughter, and he goes to Geneva. Just a little bit about my education. So this is my 25th year in teaching. I've taught in 3 states. I taught 2 years in Wisconsin and Eau Claire, and then went back to Minnesota, and then taught in some areas around the Twin Cities there. I have degrees from the University of Minnesota, Duluth, where I got my undergraduate in teaching, and then educational leadership from the University of Minnesota. I have 2 endorsements. One is in 612 special education, and then I have a K-12 administrative license. Talking a little bit about instructional math or intervention math, kind of our areas of focus is really just increasing your son or daughter's overall math skills. And then not only the math part, but really having them have kind of this growth mindset. A lot of students that kind of come into the math intervention feel a little bit defeated with math. They don't see themselves as mathematicians. They don't enjoy math. And so part of my job will be getting them to enjoy math or, tolerate math. And then, I hope by the end of the year that they'll really find it actually fun more than just tolerating it. But our goal is going to increase that stamina, so their willingness to work on problems that are harder, work on problems longer, as well as increase some fluency, being faster at recalling some of the basic math concepts or facts, so that we can get into harder problems. And the harder problems, though, that aren't like 2 parts of it being hard. It's hard because it's a harder problem. It's got more depth to it, but then you're also struggling because you're lacking some of those basic skills. So if we can build up some of the basic skills and work on also some of the concepts in math, then it's just a win-win for our students. Also, we're kind of strengthening their number sense, or kind of understanding what that answer is in context of the problem. So when they find out an answer, what does that mean back to the word problem? Is it increasing something? Is it decreasing something? Is it greater than, or is it less than? So that's kind of understanding that answer. And then not always trusting the calculator. So the calculator might spit something out, but if you inputted it wrong, then it's the wrong answer. So regardless to, when you get that final answer, kind of thinking back to yourself, does this make sense? If it doesn't make sense, then I should maybe try it again. And so that's kind of that other understanding of the context. 2 resources that we're going to use. Well, one just on this slide here is kind of the iReady software. A lot of the 6th graders were exposed to it before, but it is a software program that allows you to assign grade level content to students, as well as provide them lessons and videos and other resources that are for their gap areas that they have maybe aren't as strong for them. And then it also works very nice for students that have IEP goals, because then I can tailor some of the lessons specifically to that. So if your son or daughter is having difficulty with fractions, or with multiplying 2-digit numbers, or working with decimals, then I can actually assign them lessons specifically to that. Oops, sorry here. Oh, here we go. A typical day was when they're in person with me, it's going to be small group. It's going to be hands-on as best as I can get hands-on. Again, I have some buckets for students. I have manipulatives in there. The other thing is that kind of giving your son or daughter some student choice and what areas they feel they need to work on. So I've already sent out a questionnaire to them and I asked them, what is the one thing that's kind of bothering you? And some students came back and said fractions. Well, then we're going to work on fractions so that they can see, kind of the power and their choice and what they feel they need to work on. And then on Fridays, is going to be progress monitoring. So I'm giving them like a grade level probe is what we call it, but like some grade level like mini checks, and then seeing over time, are we closing that gap on that skill. When they are not with me, I'm going to ask that they are doing the iReady software. And the goal is that on their remote days, they are doing, when they log into iReady, they're doing one lesson or 25 minutes. So they can quit, but after the 25 minutes. And then, I'm going to monitor to just see if they're letting the clock just kind of tick away. But it's one lesson or 25 minutes. And then they're going to do that 2 to 3 times a week. And I will still post on Google Classroom on their remote days of a reminder, log in to iReady, complete one lesson, or spend 25 minutes in the software. And then when they are with me in person, some of what I'm going to work on is how well they are performing in the software or what other skills that they need to work on. When they are working in the iReady software, I gave them like a little composition notebook. I'm asking that they actually have that notebook out. They have a pencil in hand and they're working some of the problems out in the notebook, or if they're coming across something they don't understand, they're writing themselves a note. And then the next time that I see them, they're taking that book out and they're saying, Mrs. Yelle, this is what I worked on. This is what I don't understand. Or Mrs. Yelle, these are the notes that I took and, I passed that lesson. I also have some incentives and some motivators, like I track each of their lessons. They get a Thunderbuck. In the past, I used to give like little pieces of candy and prizes. I need to think how that works in kind of this time of needing to stay distant from students and no eating in that. But I'm going to figure out some way to give them some prizes as they're working through the software. And I guess that's my last slide. So thank you for the opportunity of spending some time with me and understanding a little bit more about what instructional math is. If you have any questions, you are more than welcome to send me an email, and I would love to have the opportunity to address any question you have. Have a good evening. Thank you.